crazy from Eddie Hernandez. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to GAW Friday Night Storm. I think we can safely consider ourselves well into Season 2. I know we're only 2 weeks in, but this feels normal already. And what's going to feel normal is seeing the Latin American exchange on our screens. Already 4 members of LAX. These two, Hernandez and Rosita. Hernandez, of course, the man who originally created LAX over a decade ago. And then, of course, Rey Mysterio and Bandito, the two men who reformed the group here in GAW. So this already seems to be a very powerful group. Rosita fighting for the first time since her loss at Nitro 10 for the United States title. So we'll see if she's lost a step at all. Hernandez still in her corner. This will be a fun one, I think. Bianca Belair, a woman who continues to try to find her spot right now in GAW. There's no doubt that she is exceptionally talented, one of the best athletes in the company, full stop, and yet she was just 1-6 last year through all of Season 1. Her biggest accomplishment was fighting Asuka, teaming with Charlotte Flair in a 2-on-1 handicap match. Asuka beat them both and made Belair submit to the Asuka lock. So Belair's also other biggest accomplishment in her career was losing to Asuka in 13 seconds at Nitro 9. It remains the shortest championship match in the history of GAW. But, you know, you're only as good as your last, and so for Bianca Belair, if she can pick up a big win tonight, it could jumpstart things for her here in Season 2. Rosita really came into her own at the end of Season 1 when she picked up Hernandez as kind of a coach, mentor. Look at this, Rosita with the go-behind sleeper hold. Belair with a jawbreaker, frees herself. It was a disappointing first half, 2/3 of Season 1 for Rosita. But once Hernandez got involved, it really helped Rosita turn things around. She picked up a couple wins. She earned the right to challenge Tegan Nox for the U.S. title at Nitro 10. And unfortunately, Hernandez was found unconscious backstage right before that match. We can only assume that Nox and Dakota Kai had something to do with it. And so Rosita came up short in her challenge of Tegan Nox. Now Team Kick holds all the gold in the women's division here in GAW. Rosita with the clothesline over the top rope. Rosita seems to have found herself even more of a new life as she went from up top. The new life didn't help her there. She might need some new knees. Meteora did not connect, and now Belair firing away with the strikes. Belair hoists her up, but Rosita, a little bit of quickness there. You can see Hernandez, he's liking the way Rosita's performing so far, trying to help her out, barking orders. He's been very, very important to Rosita's turnaround in GAW. Some big chops and a kick. Rosita has Belair stunned. Irish whip off the ropes, and Rosita with a beautiful elbow. Rosita, this is a good decision going for the cover here, but Belair, it's a kick out at about 1.5. Rosita staying right on top. This is the right thing to do. Hernandez and really all of LAX have really come together to help each other out. You know, some groups are together. Oh, Belair going for the cover. Rosita kicks out at 1. Some groups are together in name only, and they don't really spend much time together or really have any other bond other than the group name. But that doesn't seem to be the case for LAX so far. Belair with the electric chair drop. Hernandez, and this is exactly what I'm talking about, the chemistry here as Hernandez distracts Bianca Belair. She takes her attention off Rosita, and it was a mistake. Rosita with a small package driver. Right on the back of Belair's neck, and now look at this, Rosita. Rosita has removed the turnbuckle pad, If you watch GAW Academy Storm Chaser, Jackal did this very thing when he was fighting La Tortuga Roja, and it helped him get the win. He threw Roja into it several times, took Roja out of the match, and then when the referee turned his back to fix it, Jackal hit Roja with the low blow and won the match. And now the referee's back is turned here. Rosita trying to free herself of this top wrist lock. Referee not watching the action right now. Rosita has turned around. Rosita, oh no! Rosita put on a pair of brass knuckles. Rosita uncorks a huge left with the brass knuckles. And now Rosita off the ropes, ducks underneath, and Rosita exchange. Belair out on her feet, and Rosita drags her back middle of the ring. Rosita hooks the far leg, and Rosita has herself a dirty win. While we've seen guys like Rey Mysterio and Bandito take a lot of pride in Mexican wrestling heritage and really trying to revitalize the long and proud lucha tradition, revitalize it here in GAW, apparently Rosita has taken this as an indication to get a win by any means necessary. Very different than what we saw from Bandito last week when he was fighting. Bandito beat Buddy Murphy clean as a whistle last week. And so this is a much different look for Rosita of LAX. Nothing to say except I don't see Mysterio or Bandito chastising either of these two out here, so it's hard to say how the rest of LAX might feel about this. I know that Rosita probably feels good picking up her first win of season 2. It took her almost 7 months last season to get her first singles win, so she's got to be feeling good about that. So much more to come on tonight's show, ladies and gentlemen. We've got the former tag team champions, the Gorillas of Destiny, taking on Shane Thorne and Nick Miller, TM61. Two guys that shocked the world in the Goldberg Beat the Clock Challenge, and they seem to have a new and improved outlook here on GAW. And in our main event tonight, it is a battle royal for Intercontinental Championship #1 contendership. But coming up next, Keith Lee takes on the former member of the Blade Runners, Drew McIntyre.
Oh, bask in his glory, for he is limitless.
Keith Lee, a guy who was in the ascendant to be sure, but a man who went through a bloody, brutal battle at Nitro 10 against his former tag team partner, Matt Riddle. Keith Lee has gone on to describe it as one of the hardest things he's ever done. It took a lot out of him emotionally to go up against a friend, someone that he was so close to, and even he says that he hasn't fully recovered from having to go through that with Riddle. He did win the match, so you would say that Keith Lee has a lot of momentum here, certainly, but you know, going through something like that with a man that was your best friend for a long time, it definitely has to hurt, and so I feel for Keith Lee. Drew McIntyre. We don't know a lot about him or what his plans might be right now. We know that certainly his sights have to be set on winning a world title. When he was teaming with the Blade Runners for basically all of last year, he was really the hired muscle of that group. But when you look at it in totality, that group didn't have a whole lot of success. Buddy Murphy was the Cruiserweight champion, and he was a good Cruiserweight champion, but at the end of the day, he didn't defend his title many times and ultimately lost it to Will Ospreay. and the group held no other titles for the rest of the year. Jay White came up short twice in pursuit of the World Championship. Drew McIntyre fought for the World Championship as well when Aleister Black was the champion. He came up short in that instance. However, Drew McIntyre is a former Intercontinental champion. He's one of the best we've had in the last few years. He held it for almost a year back in 2019. He is just a world title short of winning the GAW Triple Crown. So you got to think that that's where his head is right now. These two have battled before, and they actually battled for the Intercontinental Championship when Drew McIntyre was the champion. He took on Keith Lee at Bash at the Beach in 2019. McIntyre walked out of that one the victor, but it was a great match. And if you're wondering, oh, McIntyre, whoa, look at this from up top, McIntyre with the elbow drop. Well, you watch a 6'8" man fly through the air. That's quite something. Now, if you're curious about the histories of any of our championships here in GAW, just pop on over to generaladmissionwrestling.com. We have histories of every single championship dating back to the founding of this company in 2005. Yes, you can go all the way back and look at what the championship picture was like in 2005 here in GAW. So it's always fun to peruse and see who held what. And if you look at Drew McIntyre, you will see that McIntyre held the Intercontinental Championship for almost a year. He's a former tag team champion. And the list of guys who are Triple Crown winners in GAW, meaning Intercontinental Tag Team and World Championship, the list is quite small. But Drew McIntyre is very close to adding his name onto it. McIntyre taking advantage of Keith Lee on the outside. Referee has gotten to the count of 10. Remember, in GAW, it's a 15-second count outside the ring. We're giving our guys a little bit more time. We find it suits them. Keith Lee flatlines Drew McIntyre in a big way, and Lee rolls him over after plowing his face into the mat. McIntyre kicks out at 1. These are two guys that I would very much assume are going to be in the title pictures going forward, both for the Intercontinental and World Championships. I would certainly imagine. McIntyre suplex with the release, and he does it so effortlessly. So much strength for the big man. And McIntyre now from the corner. McIntyre dialing it up, looking to make it a short night for Keith Lee. Claymore, but Keith Lee out of the way. Lee saw it coming the whole way. And now Keith Lee has the arm of Drew McIntyre. Lays in a kick and a second right to the sternum. And then Lee with a short arm clothesline. And now Keith Lee, it's his turn to wait for McIntyre to get to his feet. Lee, boot to the gut. McIntyre could be in real trouble here as Lee lifts him up. Keith Lee could have Drew McIntyre in major trouble. Spirit bomb. Keith Lee drops the former. Oh! Drew McIntyre kicks out. Wow, Drew McIntyre kicking out of the Spirit Bomb. Now, I mean, you look at the size of Drew McIntyre, you can't exactly be surprised, but Keith Lee, I think he's going for another one. Keith Lee trying to, oh, Drew McIntyre. A huge back body drop. Tosses Keith Lee like he was nothing. And now McIntyre dragging Keith Lee towards the center. Targets the knee with a big elbow. And McIntyre, he's fooling us. I think he's trying to throw Keith Lee off tactically. He keeps going into that corner as if he's going to set up a Claymore. Keith Lee gets to his feet. McIntyre, Claymore caught by Lee. Wow. Lee catches the Claymore attempt. A stomp right to the stomach. Drew McIntyre kicks out. I thought that might be it for Keith Lee in this match. McIntyre, Claymore. And that may very well be it for Keith Lee. McIntyre with that huge leg hooked, and Drew McIntyre picks up a win. What a match that was. These are just two men at the top of their games, two guys that I would imagine will be fighting for gold at some point this season. I can only assume. And you can never be exactly sure, sometimes injuries get in the way, sometimes mentally you're not all there. Just ask Adam Cole from last year. But certainly the way that these two men are performing, it certainly seems like they are on the ascendancy, both of them. Keith Lee, hopefully he'll get back to it mentally after a grueling Nitro 10 match. You have to assume that had something to do with it, that Keith Lee maybe might not be all there, still recovering from that match at Nitro 10. And Drew McIntyre, on the other hand, certainly, he's got to be fired up after the breakup of the Blade Runners. A hellacious Claymore, and the Scottish Psychopath picks up his first win of Season 2. Coming up next, the former tag team champions, the Gorillas of Destiny, they're in action. The Gorillas of Destiny battled the Usos in one of the best tag team matches you will ever see at Nitro 10. Go back and watch it if you haven't seen it already. Hell, if you have seen it already, go back and watch it again. It was a tremendous match, and GOD came up just short to a team that is very quickly becoming one of the best tag teams we've ever had in GAW, that being the Usos. So GOD looking to get back on track. The champs, by the way, I'm happy to announce that they will be in action next week on Friday Night Storm. They will take on War Machine in their first match since they reclaimed the tag titles at Nitro 10. I will be looking forward to that for sure. Look at these two guys. Some new looks here for Shane Thorne and Nick Miller of TM61. Both from Australia, as you can probably tell. So the story here, Shane Thorne was competing in the Goldberg Beat the Clock Challenge. Now, Season 1 was basically a nothing for these two. They spent most of their time in their native Australia. But Shane Thorne competed in the Goldberg Beat the Clock Challenge. He was helped by his partner, Nick Miller, distracted Adam Cole, and allowed Shane Thorne to pick up the pinfall victory. And so that is the story. TM61 appears to be back, and maybe better than ever. A new look for this new team. And you gotta wonder mentally, are they any different? What might be different about these two? Shane Thorne setting up Tama Tonga in the tree of woe. Tongaloa sees something happening, and I think maybe now we all do. Shane Thorne lines him up from clear across the ring. Shane Thorne gonna get us started early with coast to coast. A move made famous by, the former boss of these two men. Shane McMahon made that move famous, and now Shane Thorne trying to use it to beat the former champs, but Tongaloa too quick, and he's right there, but he's caught with a forearm drop kick combination. If you keep up with the Storm Chaser series at all, Tama Tonga lays out Shane Thorne with a huge spear. If you keep up with the Storm Chaser series at all, you'll know that we have a young Australian on that series as well. Goes by the name of Flyboy. And there's definitely some similarities here. All three men are incredibly athletic. They move their bodies like it's hard to describe. It's not necessarily the speed and quickness, but so much of it is just, I mean, it's just raw athletic power. It's hard to say. Nick Miller pops Shane Thorne up. Look at this. Shane Thorne into the Tower of Doom suplex. Just effortless athleticism, and Nick Miller catches Tama Tonga before he's able to crawl to his partner and make a tag. And TM61 is all over the former champs right now. I don't know what they've been doing in Australia, but something is working. Back into friendly territory. Nick Miller sends Tama Tonga, but now Nick Miller, no, you can't take your foot off the gas here, son. Tonga Loa getting chastised by the referee. Shane Thorne was able to keep Tama Tonga in the corner, but Tama Tonga now able to fight his way out. Picks up Nick Miller and an Alabama slam. Brutal stuff from the former champ. Experience plays so much of a factor in tag team wrestling, more so I think than in singles wrestling. And when it comes to the experience advantage, actually there isn't a clear winner between these two teams. Both teams have been teaming for a long, long time. Of course, GOD cut their teeth in New Japan, where they are the most decorated tag team in the history of that company. And TM61, they are legends in their home country of Australia. Tag in here. Shane Thorne back in and a double elbow. And now look at this. Standing moonsault and a fist drop. It's tremendous athleticism from both of these guys, and they use it so well. And Shane Thorne now going for the cover on Tama Tonga, who kicks out at 2. Nick Miller also out, trying to get his hands on Tonga Loa. Tonga Loa smartly out of the way. An elbow from Shane Thorne and a huge clothesline. And now Shane Thorne going for the cover as Nick Miller has attacked Tonga Loa on the outside. Tama Tonga able to kick out as Shane Thorne absolutely dropped the former champ with a gigantic lariat right to the head. And now Shane Thorne with a big standing drop kick. I said effortless athleticism. That's exactly what this is. And Shane Thorne going up top. Shane Thorne moonsault, but no water in the pool, as they say. Shane Thorne, though, right back to it. Not a lot of damage done on either of these men, and Tama Tonga is able to dive in and make the tag to his brother. This is the first time Tonga Loa has been legal, and I'm sure he wishes he wasn't. Although Shane Thorne came flying in there, Tonga Loa got the knees up just in time. Oh, what a chop. Tonga Loa on fire right now. Shane Thorne doesn't know what's going on, but he's able to land a drop kick. Tama Tonga on the outside. TM61 are in control right now, and Shane Thorne from behind absolutely lays out the former champ with a huge clothesline. And the referee making the count. Tonga Loa is able to kick out. Not a lot of damage done to Tonga Loa. Tama Tonga, up until 30 seconds ago, was the only man legal from GOD in this match. So Tonga Loa was able to kick out of that short clothesline from behind. But again, TM61 and Nick Miller, God, the chemistry is there for both of these guys. Nick Miller tags himself in, but Tonga Loa sends him flying with a slam. And now Tonga Loa turns his attention to Shane Thorne. He's no longer the legal man, but Tonga Loa trying to make sure that he doesn't come back into this ring anytime soon. Tonga Loa with a huge superplex. But that hurts the former champ as well, and Nick Miller is right on top of it. And Nick Miller going to add insult to injury with a brain buster. More like add injury to injury with that brain buster. Wow, standing cutter, countered by Tonga Loa, but Nick Miller right back on top of it with a Northern Lights suplex. I keep saying it, but the chemistry of TM61, that is what is stunning to me right now. That's what really surprises me out of all of this. We really haven't seen much of TM61 in GAW at all, even though they've been part of this company for about 2.5 years now. But they've only had a handful of matches, and the chemistry is blowing me away. Talk about two guys being on the same page. I mean, they are putting together an absolute clinic against a team that is one of the greatest that we've seen in the world. Oh my God! Nick Miller tried to toss Tonga Loa up. He got planted with a DDT. And now finally, GOD might have an opening. Nope, never mind. Nick Miller explodes out of the corner with a kick. Referee chastising Shane Thorne, but Nick Miller drops Tonga Loa with a spine buster. Tama Tonga too tired to break it up, but Tonga Loa just kicks out 2.5. This match has been all TM61. Wow, what a tremendous performance. Tonga Loa to his feet. Nick Miller could have him in trouble here. Liger bomb from Nick Miller. And now going for the cover again. Tonga Loa in serious trouble, but Tama Tonga is there to break it up. And Nick Miller flattens him with a clothesline, but I think inadvertently Shane Thorne caught shrapnel. Now suddenly we've got ourselves a one-on-one scenario. Tonga Loa and Nick Miller. Standing cutter, gun stun possibly countered. Clothesline from Nick Miller. The fans not loving TM61 right now. They certainly are acting a bit arrogant here, going up against former champs. But it's hard to say that they haven't earned it, at least somewhat, given their performance. Again, the chemistry of these two guys is blowing me away. This really, you want to learn how to wrestle as a tag team, watch TM61 right now. Nick Miller looks like he's been busted up right underneath that bandana, I think by the elbow of Tonga Loa from earlier on, but that's not stopping him going up top. Nick Miller with the elbow drop right to the chest of Tonga Loa. TM61 still in control, and now we are back to even strength for both teams. Tama Tonga and Shane Thorne, and another spine buster. Wow, and that's a pretty one. Nick Miller going for the cover. Tonga Loa in trouble. No! Tama Tonga was not going to make it. Nick Miller thought he had this thing wrapped up. Tonga Loa kicks out of the spine buster, but Nick Miller finds a way to stay on top. And again, Liger bomb from Nick Miller. And this one is much closer to his own corner. Oh no! We had a rope break and a rare miscalculation from TM61 in this match. This has been a clinic for 10 minutes. These Australians going to work on the former GAW Tag Team Champions. And again, the chemistry here. Shane Thorne with the Gamangiri on Tonga Loa. A huge drop kick. And now Tonga Loa, I don't think he realizes there's been a tag. Pulls back and a headbutt on Nick Miller, and now maybe he does. Shane Thorne was allowed to stay in this ring for a little while. Tonga Loa, Shane Thorne working 2-on-1 right now. Sends it back into the corner. No Nick Miller though. And Tonga Loa just able to get those knees up for a diving Shane Thorne. But look at this, Falcon Arrow. Shane Thorne trying to waste a little bit of time here until Nick Miller is able to get back, and Shane Thorne gets his teammate back, turns Tonga Loa around, maybe looking for that short arm clothesline again. Spear, but it's countered into a DDT. Shane Thorne, how well done was that? And now into the opposite corner goes Thorne, jaw-jacking with Tama Tonga, the former champ. And maybe that's why the fans aren't taking too kindly to the performance right now of TM61. That is Shane Thorne. TM61 has never held gold in GAW, but he was jawing with a team that has. And now a camel clutch applied by Thorne, wrenching back on the neck of Tonga Loa. This looks absolutely brutal, but Shane Thorne lets it go. I think he saw out of the corner of his eye that Nick Miller is back onto the apron, and he did. Back into the corner goes Tonga Loa. Shane Thorne trying to make a tag. Tonga Loa able to fight out of the corner. Tama Tonga is held up by the referee. I think he saw where it was going as well. Honestly, the fact that GOD are still in this match, TM61, as I say, has just put on a clinic so far. Running corner splash from Tongaloa. You'd think that he'd want to make a tag in right now. He's been in this match. Oh, spear! He's been in this match for the better part of 8 minutes, and yet here he is, and now it's the first real cover opportunity of the match. But Shane Thorne kicks out. Basement drop kick, Thorne out of the way. And Thorne looking for a clothesline, ducked by Tongaloa. So Thorne turns him around and absolutely uncorks the clothesline right to the back of the neck. Shane Thorne, surely he's done it this time. Tama Tonga won't make it, and TM61 have won their first match in GAW in 18 months. What a story for TM61, and you may not like how they do it, but you gotta respect what they did. Wow. What an absolutely tremendous performance. They just took the tag team champion, the former tag team champions, to school. And these two guys are loving it. Nick Miller and Shane Thorne. Look out for these two. They might be here to stay at the upper echelons of the tag team division. Wow. What a tremendous match that was. Coming up next, we of course have the #1 contendership match for the Intercontinental Championship, but I'm also pleased to announce that next week we will have a #1 contenders match for the World Championship. That's right, Drew McIntyre, Walter, Zack Sabre Jr., and Will Ospreay going at it for World Championship #1 contendership. Aleister Black currently holds the World Champion, but who will he be facing next? That's what we'll find out in next week's Fatal 4-Way. What is TM61? No, seriously, I'm asking you, man. I have no idea what the fuck it is. As I understand it, it was some dumbass name given to us because the old place, they didn't feel like paying for our old name. That's how good they treated us there. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. And so we come here and we keep that name. Why did we do it? Well, because we're not that smart, Shane. You're not that smart. Okay, that may be true. But that's done. That's over. From now on, forget TM61. We were TMDK when we were running the entire Australian continent. That's right. The mighty don't kneel. That's what they called us. Is it an inspirational thing? No. The mighty don't kneel is us telling you that we will never sit down for you. You will never be able to keep us down. And we won every tag team championship there is to win in Australia. And now we've come here and we're going to do it again. Our entire lineage is about tag team gold. That's what we've done our whole lives. And a misstep for a couple years in that old place will not hold us back any longer. Forget this TM61. I've heard it's a Pokemon thing. Grow up, you nerds. Go out with some women or something. Stop messing around with Pokemon. I don't think they have women. Oh, right. Well, we do. We have women, we have talent, and soon we'll have the tag team championships. You're goddamn right. The mighty don't kneel. And we'll never kneel again. We're coming for the Usos. We're coming for the tag team championships. Well, that's a big statement made by, well, now TMDK, the mighty don't kneel, taking on that old name that they held for their entire careers in Australia. And I said before that we might want to look out for them. They may be a mainstay in the upper echelons of the tag division, and it looks like I might have been right. As we get to this #1 Contenders Battle Royal, we know 5 men. This man, Ricochet, Pac, Adam Cole, Kofi Kingston is in this match as well. So we know 5 men. Who is the 6th? That is the question. 5 are here. Who will be the last? And it's none other than Zack Sabre Jr., the man who was just announced for a #1 contendership match for the World Championship next week. Apparently, this is Conor McGregor pulling his backstage strings a little bit, putting Zack Sabre Jr. in a match where he could potentially win #1 contendership for a title held by his teammate. Bobby Lashley, also of the Mob, currently holds the Intercontinental Championship. Noticeably, CM Punk nowhere to be found after Conor McGregor kicked him out of the group last week. Well, we got 6 men. Only one of them will be walking away from this battle royal. Let's see who it is. Well, all 6 men getting started off fast here. Makes a lot of sense. I understand why they're doing it. Buddy Murphy and Ricochet over in that corner. Murphy trying to jettison the former 3-time Cruiserweight champion. You know, now that I look at it, there's a lot of former champions, lots of champion representation in this match. You got former World and Cruiserweight champion Pac. You've got former 2-time Intercontinental champion Adam Cole, former Intercontinental champion Kofi Kingston, former Cruiserweight champions Buddy Murphy and Zack Sabre Jr., and a former 3-time Cruiserweight champion in Ricochet. Ricochet now in the corner working on Buddy Murphy. Zack Sabre Jr. with a German suplex on Pac. The fans definitely behind Kofi Kingston here, as you'd imagine. Kingston wearing some of that. Oh, there goes Buddy Murphy. Ricochet sends him out. And now Pac stunned up against the top rope, but Zack Sabre Jr. turns his attention to Ricochet, and a brainbuster allows Pac to stay in this thing. In the corner goes Kingston, now sends Pac. Pac catches that kick and a spinning heel kick from the world champ. Huge chop to Adam Cole, and Pac running wild in this match right now. Pac, honestly, I mean, when you look at it, as I said, former World and Cruiserweight champion, this is an opportunity for him to chase the golden ring. Only Kenny Omega has done it. That, of course, winning all 4 men's titles in GAW. Kenny Omega's the only man to do it. And now with the Cruiserweight Championship gone, only former Cruiserweight champ, oh, Ricochet sends Kofi Kingston out, DDT to Adam Cole. Only former Cruiserweight champions now have a chance to win that golden ring. So Pac, already a world champion, you gotta think that he's thinking possibly a golden ring in his future. Honestly, who really knows? Pac stunned up against the ropes, and Kofi Kingston now trying to notch his 3rd elimination. Kingston trying to dump the world champ. Pac hanging precariously, but he is able to roll himself back into the ring. Kingston and Pac, what a tremendous singles match this would be. Sabre and Adam Cole going at it as well. Kofi Kingston and Buddy Murphy both out of this match. Ricochet eliminated both, and now Zack Sabre trying to eliminate Adam Cole. Oh, Pac hits Kofi Kingston with a low blow. And Kofi, he could be in real trouble right now. Pac sees the ropes and trying to jettison the former 3-time Cruiserweight champ. The low blow. Ricochet hanging on for dear life, and ultimately Pac drops him against the top rope, turns his attention to Adam Cole. Cole with a flatliner, and now Kofi Kingston, Ricochet turning to Zack Sabre Jr., kick to the legs. Sabre stunned up against the ropes, and now Adam Cole trying to wrench him out as well, almost trying to snapmare him over the top rope. Zack Sabre Jr. able to hang on. Pac sends Ricochet into the corner. Adam Cole eats a drop kick from Ricochet. Pac uppercut to the back, sees Zack Sabre Jr. stunned in that corner. Sabre catches the strike. Pac able to fight his way out. Ricochet and Adam Cole both underneath bottom ropes, and Pac super kick, and Zack Sabre Jr. is out. Both Pac and Adam Cole went straight for ZSJ, and I think they understand it would be quite unfair if Conor McGregor was able to have both of his men in an Intercontinental Championship match. Adam Cole sends Pac out. And then there were two, Cole and Ricochet. And now Ricochet has Cole turning his attention towards the ropes, but Cole sees the potential danger. Cole, oh, what a super kick. And now Cole into the Florida Keys. Adam Cole has the advantage right now against Ricochet. Ricochet to his feet. Cole drops him down to a knee. And Adam Cole, last shot. Adam Cole, hang on. Wait, hey, what is this? What is this? Conor McGregor runs in underneath the bottom rope. Conor McGregor has gone for Adam Cole. McGregor making sure, seemingly, that Ricochet is the winner of this match. Unbelievable. Oh my God. And just when it seemed like Adam Cole had the advantage, Conor McGregor gets in, and I don't know if Ricochet knows what's happened, but that gigantic discus forearm, Adam Cole busted open, and Ricochet sends Cole over, and Adam Cole is out. Ricochet, with help, it must be said. Conor McGregor gets into the ring and stops Adam Cole from probably winning this match. Cole hit the Florida Keys, he hit the last shot, and that was when Conor McGregor decided to get himself involved. Ricochet is the #1 contender for Bobby Lashley's Intercontinental Championship. And it's not the cleanest way, it's not clean at all, but yet Ricochet did win this #1 contenders match by hook or by crook. So Conor McGregor costs Adam Cole an opportunity at Lashley, and Ricochet earns that opportunity for himself. You hate to see it, but unfortunately, sometimes that's how wrestling goes. Folks, thank you so much for joining us here on Friday Night Storm. Catch us on Monday for GAW Academy Storm Chaser. We've got a packed show on that one, a big announcement from Jason Parker that you're not going to want to miss. And of course, next week on Friday Night Storm, a World Championship #1 contenders match. All we can hope for is it's a little cleaner than this one. Thank you so much, folks. Subscribe. We appreciate you.